Bonjour. Comment ça va? No, Miss Cora's not losing her mind. You know, I was a Cajun, and my mom and daddy were both Cajuns. My mama's mama and my daddy's mama and parents, they didn't speak no English. They came from in the days when they were French. So I chose one of my favorite books, and Sheila Hebert Collins does a great job. She's a local author who writes Cajun fairy tales. And this one is Cendrillon, which is a Cajun Cinderella. And it's illustrated by Patrick Soper. So sit back. It's okay to laugh at this one, because this one's a good book. Cendrillon. You recognize that glass slipper? Yeah. My well. Once upon a time, there was a fine gentleman who had a beautiful home on St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. He had one child, a daughter. She was très belle. He gave her all that he could buy and spoiled her terribly because she had no mother. The little girl did wish for a mother, and her Pierre knew that. So he married a woman with 2 daughters, hoping that it would make his petite fille happy. The new belle-mère had not been married one day when she became very jealous of her husband's child. He gave her stepdaughter all the hard and dirty work to do, while her own daughters pampered themselves all day long. When her work was done, the petite fille rested by the fireplace among the cinders. From that day on, those mean stepsisters called her Cendrillon. But pauvre bête, Cendrillon would not tell her Pierre about any of this because he thought that his new wife was so perfect. Man, God did the fine gentleman died. His grand maison soon fell in disrepair, and his widow had to sell it to buy a small, shabby shotgun house across the river. Cendrillon was given all the dirty attic for her room and rags for her clothes. But did she bouder? Man, no. She made friends with les pigeons, which would perch on the attic window every day. And she had lots of friends down by the levee. Les crocodiles, les canards, les crabes, les pigeons de mer, les pélicans, and best of all, les crevettes. She even made little clothes for her friends. Her long days were filled with jobs to do for her belle-mère and ugly belle-sœur. But Cendrillon always did her ouvrage and had time for ses bons amis. Now, across the river from the Cendrillon's home lived Alphonse Thibault and his son Ove. Monsieur Thibault was one of the richest men in the city. He decided it was time for Ove to marry. Using his connections, he had Ove named Rex, the king of the carnival. He would have the biggest Mardi Gras ball in the city and invite every unmarried girl in New Orleans. The invitations were sent out by carriage, horseback, and pirogue. In Cendrillon's home, the invitations were received with joy. Mon Dieu! We are all going to the Rex Mardi Gras ball, the girls shouted. Et moi? asked Cendrillon. Oui, et toi? laughed la belle-sœur. Oui, said la belle-mère with a wicked smile. Of course you may go, if you finish all your chores and if you have something to wear. Cendrillon worked hard all day and made red beans and rice for dinner. But when it was time for the ball and the carriage had arrived, her belle-mère said, Mais ça c'est triste, Cendrillon. You are not ready for the ball. Mais non, ma belle-mère, I cannot go to the ball, she said. Not going, ça c'est dommage. Au revoir, Cendrillon, cackled the means belle-sœurs. Pauvre bête. Cendrillon went up to her attic room and sank sadly down on her moss bed. feeling tout fait mal. Tout un coup, he heard a tapping at a window. It was Pierre la Pigeon. He signaled for her to go way down to the levee. She ran down there and, mais jamais, her friends had not forgotten her. They had been very busy making her a beautiful party dress for the ball. Mon Dieu, ça c'est beau! Merci, merci, she cried. Cendrillon ran to the top of the levee and yelled at the carriage. Arrête, arrête! I think we've done that one in the gym before, meaning stop. She dressed quickly. Then she ran to the carriage and jumped in. Her belle-sœur stared in surprise, then began grabbing at her, screaming, "Those are my beads! That's my ribbon! Those are my bows!" And before long, Cendrillon was in rags again and was pushed out of the carriage. She was left sitting there on the ground in a cloud of dust. She did them sisters be dipping in her bucket. La chère petite fille ran into the levee in tears and sank down. Soon she felt somebody beside her. She looked up and saw a beautiful lady. "Bonsoir, madame. Qui êtes-vous?" asked Cendrillon. I don't think I said that right. Hold on. Qui êtes-vous? asked Cendrillon. "I'm your fairy mère, and I've come to help you," the beautiful lady said. From the sky came a magic wand. "Now dry your tears. We have work to do if you're going to go to the ball." "Allons," said la meunière, and she held her magic wand. "The first thing we need is a nice couchot, ma petite fille. Go to the garden and find one. Dépêche-toi." Cendrillon did not comprehend, but she obeyed. "And now, le gris-gris," said la meunière. "Hot boudin, cold couche-couche. Come on, magic, push, push, push." And with that, the couchon turned into a beautiful carriage. "What we need now are some fine big crevettes," said la main. Cendrillon jumped up and ran over to the levee for ses amis, the crawfish. She brought 6 of them to la Mary. La Reine touched them with her wand and said her magic words. "Hot boudin, cold couche-couche. Come on, magic, push, push, push." I hope you were saying it along with me. It does get fun, doesn't it? With that, the crawfish turned into beautiful red horses. Pierre la Pigeon became a fine footman, and le crabe became a fat coachon. "Mais, quoi tu crevais?" Excuse me? "Mais, quoi tu crois?" asked la Mary. "Le magnifique," said Cendrillon. "Mais allons," said la Mère. "Mais non, regarde-moi," said Cendrillon. "Mon Dieu, ça c'est bête," said la Mère. With those words, she touched Cendrillon with her magic wand, and voila! There stood Cendrillon in a beautiful Mardi Gras ball gown, with a dainty mask to match, and tiny mother-of-the-pearl soleil on her feet. "Écoute, Cendrillon, va! But don't forget, you must return by minuit." "And not an instant later, or all my gris-gris will vanish, and you will become as you were before," warned the la Mère. Bonne chance. The carriage crossed the river on the ferry and rolled along Canal Street toward the grand ballroom in the Roosevelt Hotel. When Cendrillon's coach arrived, Rex saw the très belle fille and helped her up the steps. Then all the guests in the ballroom turned to look at the sight of Cendrillon and Rex. The guests whispered, "Who is this très jolie fille?" Rex led her to the dance floor, and before her first dance was over, he had fallen hopelessly amour. They danced together all evening in a world of their own. Cendrillon was startled by the chimes of minuit from the St. Louis Cathedral. Tout d'un coup, she ran from the dance floor, down the large hallway, and to the ferry, with Rex at her heels shouting, "Viens ici! Courvelle. As the chimes rang douze, everything became as it was before, all but Cendrillon's beautiful mother-of-the-pearl slippers. As Cendrillon jumped onto the ferry, a slipper fell off her foot onto the dock. When Rex reached the dock, he saw that his beautiful queen was crossing the river on the ferry. He picked up her slipper and sadly walked back to the ball. Cendrillon reached home out of breath and filled with sadness. All she had left of her magical night was the one slipper made of mother-of-the-pearl. She slowly walked upstairs to her attic room. She placed the slipper under her moss mattress and went to sleep, dreaming of her amour, Rex. De bon matin, les berceurs were chattering away about the beautiful lady at the ball, with whom Rex had hopelessly fallen in love. Amour. Et là, how could she run off at minute like that? C'est fou! One of les berceurs said. Cendrillon listened, but never said one word. At that moment, there was a great trumpet fanfare at Gallier Hall. Crowds of people gathered. Ove Thibault, Rex, stood before the people and held up the tiny slipper. This is the slipper of my queen. I will marry the mademoiselle whose foot will fit this slipper. My court will visit each and every home in this city. The search began. Tout de suite. When Rex's court arrived at Cendrillon's little shotgun house, her berceuses were eager to try to get their grand feet into the slipper. Cendrillon hid around the corner as her berceuses argued about who would be first. Try as they would never get the slipper to fit. May I try, s'il vous plaît? Cendrillon asked. Mais oui, said the man. Comment ça fait? Shouted la berceuse. She is Cendrillon. For sure not fit for Rex. We are ordered by Rex, the man answered as he placed the slipper on Cendrillon's foot. Cendrillon took the other slipper out of her pocket and put it on. With the magic shoes back on her feet, the gris-gris returned, and Cendrillon changed into la belle fille everybody had seen with Rex. Mon Dieu! Screamed la berceuse as they fell into their knees, begging forgiveness from Cendrillon. Cendrillon told him she would forgive them, and they could even come faire la veillée. Then the men of Rex's court hurried her off to St. Charles Avenue, where Ove Thibault was anxiously awaiting. Cendrillon told Ove and his family the whole story. Qui y'all? They all shouted out. Right then and there, they all jumped up to the streetcar and went straight to the French Quarter to get married at St. Louis Cathedral. Cendrillon and her Rex moved into the mansion next to the Mississippi River, where Cendrillon could still have ses petites amies. And as they say in the Crescent City, laissez la bonne route, and they did. C'est tout. I hope you've enjoyed this book. I know I didn't say all of the words exactly right, but it's just a fun book to read. I think your parents who have grandparents, you may want to show it to your grandparents if you have grandparents who speak some Cajun French. I know some of my friends who speak Cajun French are going to really enjoy it. I hope I did not destroy it too bad, but just remember, while we're away from school for right now, we can still have fun and still enjoy reading and enjoying literature. Everybody have a good day.